When you spoke with Mr. Kendrick, did you speak with him about a fight that occurred at Club Crucial?
Yes.
And specifically, did you speak with him about a fight that happened at Club Crucial after Kenneth Copeland was beat up at Club Crucial?
Yes.
And was that fight somewhere around January 6th of 2015?
Yes.
And specifically, did he talk about his involvement in fighting an individual by the name of Bloody J?
Yes.
What did he tell you about his involvement in fighting Bloody J?
That when they got outside, he was the one that punched Bloody J.
And again, this is all after Kenneth Copeland was beat up inside of the club.
Correct.
During the course of your speaking with Mr. Kendrick, did he talk to you about any conflict or tension he had with an individual by the name of Rich Homie Quan?
Yes.
What did he tell you about the tension or conflict that he had with Rich Homie Quan?
He spoke about he had went to a club. I don't remember the exact date. And when he walked in, he saw Rich Homie Quan, and Rich Homie Quan, cousin or something. No one said nothing to him when he walked in. And then once he got to a certain area, he spoke of how Rich Homie Quan began pointing at him. And his cousin or something had pulled him to the side and basically said, don't do that, Yak, don't do that. And he basically explained that he was just there, but he could see how everyone was kind of positioning themselves. And initially he wanted to leave, but he didn't want to look like he was basically scared or something, so he stayed. But it was basically tension in there.
Was this before or after January 10th, 2015?
This was after.
The incident that he was telling you about was after?
Yes.
When you spoke with Mr. Kendrick, did he acknowledge a beef between YSL and If Gang?
Yes.
Did he ever speak with you about his desire or wanting to be a member of the Bloods?
Yes.
In speaking with Mr. Kendrick, did he ever appear to be confused about his understanding what a gang was?
No.
During the course of the interview, did he talk about gang banging or being a part of a gang?
Yes.
During your interview, did he ever claim to no longer be a part of a gang?
He basically spoke about moving on past that as the music was starting to take off, and he basically indicated that he felt like he was nobody. He didn't respect the gang culture of having like leaders or different stuff like that, and he basically said he deemed himself a Blood, so he started being a Blood.
Did he talk with you about this incident following the fight that we just viewed a few moments ago?
Yes.
What was he able to tell you about what happened following that fight at Club Crucial? Excuse me, at Magic City.
He basically told us how he was filming a video that day, and it kind of fell through. And he got high, had some lean, and was kind of having a bad day. And then his friend, Duke, called him, basically telling them that they just jumped. And he was like, pull up on me. And so they met up somewhere.
Well, hold on. You said pull up on me. What does that mean?
Meet me somewhere. And basically they met somewhere, and he felt like it wasn't his beef, but he's almost coming to the aid of his friend. And so they came up with the idea of going to retaliate.
And when they were stopped, where were they stopped? Where did they see the police at initially?
Trestle Tree Apartments.
And what's the significance of Trestle Tree Apartments? Trestle
Tree is a strong, like a main hangout for Kelvin Watts and If gang members.
Okay. And I'm going to show you what's been admitted as 27 DDDP. Hat?
With the chain on, yes.
Okay. Now, did they ever make it to Trestle Tree? They being Mr. Arnold and Mr. Kendrick.
They made it to Trestle Tree, but there was a large police presence, and so they attempted to leave Trestle Tree. And according to Mr. Kendrick's, he didn't know his way around over there, and so they had to make a U-turn. When they made the U-turn, that alerted police, and that's how the chase initiated or started.
And did he talk to you about the guns that were found in the vehicle?
Yes.
And did he advise to you which gun was his?
Yes.
And do you remember today which gun he said that was his?
Initially, he spoke about he had just purchased the stick, which would be the long gun. Okay. And then he was the driver. And so the handgun, I believe, was found in the driver's area.
During that interview, did you speak with him about the murder of Donovan Thomas?
Yes.
And I'm asking you specifically, did he ever tell you whether or not he could remember where he was on the night that Donovan Thomas was murdered?
I believe he did.
Do you remember where he said he was?
I don't. I think he said he was at his girlfriend's house.
And do you know the name of that girlfriend?
Busha. Busha.
Okay. Now, as you did your investigation over that span of investigating the incidents between January of 2015, at some point in 2015, did your investigation conclude?
It never really concluded. Our unit was tasked with stopping crime. Our unit was on the floor with our chief. Anytime there was a significant incident, they reached out to our unit to assist. Homicide usually dealt with if there was a murder, but gangs usually dealt with what led up to the murder, and what was coming afterwards. So we were tasked with different assignments or different incidents.
Okay. And towards the end of 2015, did you deem this gang war between YFN and YSL Operation Planters?
I didn't deem it, but that was it, became named.
And at some point during the end of 2015, what was kind of the result of Operation Planters, or what kind of happened?
I'm waiting for a response.
Can I?
Yeah,
No, not from you.
Not from you. Your Honor, we believe that is going to be relevant as to how they moved on and kind of ended this portion of the investigation.
Sustained.
All right. Let me ask you this. When initially, was Kenneth Copeland the target? Did it appear as if Kenneth Copeland was the target of YFN in the early months of January 2015?
Yes.
At any point, did it appear that that target shifted to anyone else?
Relevance and speculation.
Sustained.